over to Laura for questions on Zoom at Concacaf. Jeremiah, as usual, I see you first. Go for it.
Brian, what was your overall assessment of the game? Looked like you guys had some success pressing, but also in possession.
My overall impressions right now, Jeremiah, was that was an entertaining soccer game. I hope our fans enjoyed that. I did. Maz, I enjoyed that. I hope the TV audience that tuned in enjoyed that. I thought it was a good game. My team in particular, our team in particular, yeah, there were some good moments of pressing and getting some transition moments. Yes, we had worked on that. But Albert's goal was, quality attacking movements. I thought Christian and Alex did a tremendous job on the right-hand side. Jordan coming into a, run of form, a good run of form. Obviously, the statement I shouldn't have to make, but having Nico back is helpful. Overall, it was a good performance. I mean, we kind of went asleep on one play, and they're a good enough side, a well-coached side, and they made us pay. So they've got an away goal, so that helps them a little bit in the chess match. But we're not going to be afraid to go back to Red Bull Arena and try and win.
Mas.
Brian, when Jordan is able to get width down on the flank there, and same thing on the other side, just how much does that open up the middle and all the different options that you can do there to have entertaining soccer and be goal dangerous?
Yeah, you can play inside out or outside in. I think our team balances that out pretty good because Nico and Raul can play in the middle of the field. Albert can play in the middle of the field. I thought Jordan was effective today, though. He wasn't like a true left winger, like 1v1. I mean, he ran across the field and Jackson caught him once where he almost scored in the first half. I thought there was some good moments, but we need to balance out the left side with the right side a little bit more. I mean, I think we can get a little bit better in that part of our game. And we'll work on it. I mean, Jimmy Madrana came on and showed you a couple flashes. Maybe he's something on the left, or, Leo and those guys when we get some more games. But kind of balancing out both sides is probably one of the things we as a coaching staff see.
Other questions in the room? Okay, Steve, I'll go to Steven. Let's go to first timers. Don't worry, Maz, we'll come back.
Hi, Coach. How important do you think it was for Rusnak to get his first goal for the club, and what do you expect to see from him from here?
Well, it was great for Albert because it was a great goal. Lots of people might not understand that little piece of execution of a goal. A lot of guys would have taken a touch and it would have pushed him into a different angle, and the goalkeeper, who, Sean Johnson is a very, very talented goalkeeper, might have given the goalkeeper a little bit of an advantage. But because he hit it first time, he wrong-footed the goalkeeper. He wasn't set. He wasn't ready to make the save. And that little cognizant ability that Albert has makes him such a tremendous player. And so that's the nuance there. I thought Albert, was good for us in many games during the year. I know some people might have thought he hadn't scored, so he didn't play well. That wasn't my opinion. I thought he's been great since he's been here.
Go to John, and then we'll go in the back there. I know John's right there. Yeah.
Coach, the team today was passing really, really well. The ball moved really quickly and precisely. Something I noticed as well in Minnesota. I'm curious if that's something that has been trained on recently, in particular, or is that just the team gelling now, 8 games into the season?
I think again, I'll go back to, we haven't had our full complement of players so far this year. And you're just starting to see the tip of the iceberg there when guys are back to full health. And, Raul and Nico's inclusion to the group that did some heavy lifting, earlier, credit to Will and Freddie tonight to come on and do some good things. But Freddie has done a lot of good things for us in this competition against Leon. I mean, there's other people that have stepped up, but to have everybody now in place, I think you're going to see a little bit how this team is going to, kind of build into what they are. I think we have a lot of talented players. I think the possession, again, to your point, against Minnesota was great in that first half. And I think there were spells tonight where we were very good. But then again, trying to find the right balance of using Jordan in our transition moments, because I don't think we want to be just a possession team, because that would kind of limit Christian and Jordan and what they do well. So we'll have to keep working on finding that balance.
Coach, buenas noches. Felicidades por el triunfo.
Noches.
Ustedes como equipo, Seattle Sounders, ¿está consciente de lo que están provocando, ganándole a León, ganándole a New York City, y los pone como favoritos? ¿Sienten la presión extra ustedes o es motivante para ganar por primera vez y hacer historia? En México, la prensa mexicana los pone como favoritos a Seattle Sounders. Nunca había pasado eso de que hablaran tanto de un equipo de la MLS como para hacer historia en 13 años de la Concacaf Champions.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Do you guys as a team think that this win against León first and now New York City, it's putting yourselves as favorites? For the first time ever, the Mexican press is putting Seattle Sounders as a favorite in the 13 years of the Concacaf Champions. And do you feel that pressure or that, responsibility?
I didn't catch the back half of his question. I thought he was just going to ask if we feel the pressure. The answer is no, we don't feel the pressure. We take every game as a single game and we play to win. But that is interesting now that the Mexican press is saying that we are now the favorites. And it's a good question. Es un buen pregunta, porque what I told them in the locker room was, we are not finished yet. It's not over against New York City FC. And I don't care what the Mexican press says. We're not going to be the favorites. We have to still earn every opportunity we have to even get to a final. And then Pumas and Cruz Azul are good teams. And we don't know who will play home first or away first. That's still in jeopardy. And then we can talk about, the next phase. But right now we are focused on one more game against New York City FC.
En resumen, en realidad no sentimos presión. Porque tomamos cada partido como un partido y luego seguimos analizando el siguiente partido. Ahora es interesante lo que mencionas con respecto a la prensa mexicana poniéndonos como favoritos, y es una buena pregunta y me hace recordar el tema que justamente les acabo de decir a los jugadores en el camerino, que lo más importante que tenemos que terminar de hacer es el siguiente partido, que todavía no hemos terminado con la tarea que tenemos que aprovechar cada oportunidad para poder seguir pasando a la siguiente fase, y de ahí hay todavía una serie de cosas que no estamos todavía al tanto, no sabemos quién va a jugar primero, quién va a jugar primero en casa, quién va a jugar segundo después, y una vez que lleguemos a ese punto recién vamos a poder ver lo que va a pasar, pero lo más importante es que el siguiente partido es un partido que todavía tenemos que resolverlo en Nueva York y luego ver qué pasa con el resultado de los siguientes equipos mexicanos.
Okay, we'll go up to Laura at Concacaf for a few questions on Zoom. Laura, go ahead.
Thank you. Charles William, you have the floor.
Hey, Coach, that was fun to watch. And I wanted to ask, now that you've got so many of your big guns available, how much of tonight was playing the way you want to play, and how much was sort of attacking NYCFC's maybe weaknesses or getting at them in a certain way?
Well, look, we scouted New York City FC extensively prior to the game, but until you really see them on the field, you don't get a real feel for what they are, who they are. So we took some mental notes as the game was going. We addressed some of those things as a coaching staff tonight after the game so that we can prepare a training plan for next week already based on what we saw tonight live. So there will be some modifications in how we played, and we will try and figure out how we can, attack some of their weaknesses, but there's not many there. I mean, that's a quality team. So that always brings me back to what we always try and focus on, which is our team. So it's always important for our team to try and dictate play, whether you're home or away against your opponent. That doesn't always happen. I mean, I've sat up here many times and talked about how we prepared and we wanted to do something, but it didn't work. So we'll have the same process. We'll digest the film, we'll make a training plan, and then we'll travel to New York to try and, score one goal and make it challenging on our opponents.
One last question with Chris Campbell.
Hey, Brian, kind of building off of that, Seattle so far this season hasn't pressed much the opponents in their defensive third, the attacking third for Seattle. Was there something with the New York City back line or the way that New York City built out of the back that made you want to press them more when they were trying to do so?
Well, I might challenge all of you as to why that doesn't happen. I don't know why we're not pressing higher up the field, because I press high on goal kicks all the time. We always try and immediate chase or counter press, whatever you guys want to call it. Those are staples as to what we do. Yeah, there's some games where we fall into a transition. Certainly Lyon was a game where we defended deep and we were good in transition, but our objective is always to press high. So I might argue that point, why we don't press higher up the field during games. There was nothing that we saw on film that New York did that made us press higher up the field. That's just part of what we try and do. Maybe again, to my last point, maybe we don't accomplish that every game, but that's our objective.
Laura, if that's it on Zoom, we'll take a couple more in the room here just to close things out. I saw a few follow-up hands. Maz, you've been very patient. Go ahead.
Brian, just how important, well, everybody's important on the field, but Alex Roldan's ability Christian Roldan, I should say, his ability to go high, middle, go side to side. How important is that in your transition game, whether you're high pressing or possessing the game?
Are you talking about Christian or?
I'm sorry, it was Christian. I'm getting my Roldans mixed up. But Christian Roldan's
Look, I love talking about Christian because he's a great player. He does a lot of things. I think he's now the leader in assists in this tournament so far this year. But he does a ton of different things for us. I mean, the right side was very good. Him and his brother have a good connection. We can overload that side of the field. Nico comes over there, Raul, JP. I mean, there's really a lot of good sequences there down the right-hand side. Christian's been a big part of that for many years for us. You guys that see Christian on a weekly basis know how good he is.
Jeremiah, go ahead.
Yeah, in the last couple games, Albert's played alongside João Paulo in the midfield. What have you seen in his game that made you think that was an effective way to deploy him, and what did you think of his play today?
Well, I'll wait till I see the reviews and what you guys think. But Albert can defend. I mean, a lot of you guys, box players into certain positions, the 6, the 8, the 10, and this, that. I mean, Albert's a smart soccer player. Based on what he did on the goal, based on some of the reads he takes, based on some of the tenacity that Freddie talked to me about that he saw when he was coaching him at RSL. So I have the advantage of having Freddie on the staff, and he coached Albert. So I had a little inside information that maybe you guys didn't have. And so you team him up with JP. They're not Ozzy Alonso classic number 6s. I'll give you that. They're not Gustav Svensson, but that doesn't mean they can't defend. So I would probably take offense if anybody says Albert can only play as a 10 or a, winger that tucks inside. I think he's got more than that.
Okay, any other first-time askers that haven't gotten a question in? All right, John, go ahead and close us out with the last one.
Right now, the team is the leading point scorer in the tournament. So you would,
Who is?
your guys'
Oh, we
Sounders are, you are a point ahead of both the Mexican clubs.
Okay. We're at
Currently,
11 to 10.
correct.
Got it. Okay.
How important is it to the club to be able to host the second leg here? Do you put much thought into that, or is that not so important in a two-legged tie?
Well, again, the number one objective is to go through. So if we go through and we, we lose 1-0 in New York and we don't host a second leg, okay, fine. I just want to get through. That's number one. Number two, are we going to go to New York and try and win the game and stay ahead of the Mexican teams? Of course we are. And then that would, again, reward the fans that showed up tonight, that showed up for Motagua, that showed up for Leon. It would give us another platform to show just how big of a soccer city Seattle is. Those of us with, good memories, remember 2019, what it was like to host a final. And that was a pretty momentous occasion. With all the talk now in the press, about the Mexican press, about we're the favorites and can we win Champions League, the national narrative of can MLS at some point catch, that it would be ideal for us to play at home. But again, what I want to warn everybody about is we're not looking past NYCFC. That's still a very good, well-coached team. Let's just get past NYCFC, and then you can ask me if I have an opinion first or not.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everyone's time.
Thanks, everybody.
As I said, there isn't a plan A or plan B before game. It's more kind of going with the flow of the game.
Hugo.
Pregunta para Jordan Morris. Jordan, ¿te sientes, sienten en el vestidor la sensación de que el equipo está muy conectado como para ser campeones, hacer historia, ser el primer, buscar hacer historia, ser el primer equipo de la MLS en ser campeón? ¿Sienten esa sensación dentro del vestidor?
Jordan, my question was, do you have that feeling in the locker room that you might have the opportunity to make history by being the first team in a US team that actually wins the cup?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a goal of ours for sure. And we know it's kind of a game by game thing. So we're not getting ahead of ourselves too much. Our only focus is now on the next game next Wednesday and what we can do to win that and move on to the final. But yeah, of course, that's a feeling that we have, and we'd love to be that first MLS team to win the championship.
Sí, por supuesto, ese es el objetivo que tenemos y estamos muy entusiasmados por eso. Sin embargo, no nos podemos adelantar. Todavía hay un partido muy importante que tenemos que jugar el próximo miércoles y a pesar de que el sentimiento que tenemos es que queremos conseguir ese objetivo, igual estamos muy concentrados en el próximo partido, el próximo miércoles.
Okay, we do have a couple questions on Zoom, so we'll go up there next to our colleagues at Concacaf. Laura, if you can hear us okay, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Alex. We'll give the floor to John Lupo.
Guys, congratulations on the victory. Just with the style that NYCFC play, with the fact that they press high and they like to have a lot of possession, did you feel like that they would leave you some open spaces and you'd be able to take advantage of that? And basically, how did you feel like you guys did as far as trying to limit their possession?
You're okay or no? Huh? Either one of you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we know how good of a team they are, that they're, they like to press high. They like to keep possession. They have a lot of good attacking pieces. And so it was important for us to be switched on defensively. I thought we did a good job of pressing them high at moments, forcing them kind of get out of their rhythm a bit. And I thought we kept possession at times, really well, dictated the pace of the game when we needed to slow it down. We kept the ball, and then when we felt like we could kind of get an opportunity or get a scoring chance, we went for it, obviously. So I think obviously there were things we could do a little bit better, and frustrated with the goal, but that we gave up. But I think we had a really, really good game. Like Albert said, everyone contributed, everyone did their part. So we're gonna need that next Wednesday as well.
Next question for Jada Evans.
Laura, I don't know if we heard that. Can you repeat whoever
Next
has a
question
question?
will be for Jada Evans. Jada, go ahead.
Great. Can you hear me?
We have a little bit of feedback with Jada. We'll move on to Chris Campbell. One last question.
Hey Jordan, you mentioned the high press that you guys had today. You guys seemed to press more high when New York City was building out of the back than you have so far this year. Was there something in particular you saw with this matchup that made you guys want to press more when New York City was building out of the back? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that we obviously know how dangerous they are as a team, and whenever we're at home, we want to be on the front foot. So we kind of set that as a point to put them under pressure, press them high, and we felt like we could create opportunities from winning the ball off a press and transitioning quickly. I think we know that we're a good transition team, and so if we can win it high up the field, we can create goal scoring opportunities. And I thought at times we did that really, really well. So it's something that, yeah, we were focused on going into the game. And, you know, obviously we'll revisit it for Wednesday, but when we're at home, we want to be on the front foot.
Laura, any other questions on Zoom?
That's all for Zoom. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We'll take one more in the room. Then I know we have to get over to the NYCFC players before we get over to Schmetzer. John, why don't you take us home?
Jordan, I noticed during the game, you and Nico would at times switch positions. You come in more centrally, him more out wide. Is that something you saw you could possibly exploit on New York City beforehand? And what is it like having Nico back in the squad? How does that change the way you play?
Yeah, it's great to have Nico back. Great to have Raul back, Jimmy back today. I mean, we have so much quality. So to have those guys back on the field has been awesome. I think Nico and I throughout kind of our whole time playing together have had a really good relationship where we can switch positions. He likes to drift out wide sometimes to get the ball, and you know, I'm comfortable playing up front as well, more in the center and making runs from there. So whenever we sense maybe we need something different, or he wants to get some more touches on the ball, he can drift out wide and I'll switch into the middle. And I think we just have that relationship. We've been playing together for a long time now. So we kind of go off of each other's movements, and in the flow of the game, you know, like Albert said, you just kind of feel it and go from there. But it's awesome to have him back. You see the quality that he brings and all the chances that he helps to create. Yeah.
Okay, NYCFC player up next, followed by Brian Schmetzer. Albert, Jordan, thank you very much.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please. That was awesome. Thank you. And just to clarify, you guys are good. We're going to let them go first and then bring Brian in. Yeah. No, they're not coming here. It'll be on Zoom because there's only one.